What's your perception of yourself today, these days? How is it different from, I don't know, 2 years ago, 10 years ago?
I'm trying to think what is different and what stays the same.
I guess what's important. Or, I don't know, is something that used to be so important in the past, today just doesn't have any meaning, or changed the meaning about yourself?
I think I become more open person, and like in the conversations one-to-one, I can need to hide myself less than it was before. More than this, I think when it's not a conversation about something deep and meaningful, it's become boring.
Hey, growing up.
Maybe, yeah. And at the same time, you know, the deep thing can sound very silly.
It's true.
Yeah, there is maybe it's even not about the conversation, it's about something beyond the words, something that happening between me and you while we're talking.
What if we're not talking?
Maybe we're not talking, but we are here.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, the presence. I think that's the thing that's important for me, and that I'm trying to develop into myself in every that I'm trying to develop in every aspects of my life.
Presence, like being in the moment.
Yeah, I want to be here. Yes, I'm trying to experience all the things that happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult sometimes. If we talk about intimacy, I can feel how different my perception, like in regular life.
Regular what?
Not regular, but outside of intimacy.
Sexual intimacy?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes. Like I have much more fears outside of sexual intimacy. And when it's come to sex, suddenly everything, also when it's sometimes done something new to me, and everything is interesting. It's like I become an explorer. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I don't know it. I didn't try it before, but it's interesting.
Right. It's definitely more interesting than paying bills and doing your everyday life.
Yes.
But you know, life can be interesting also, non-sexually, I guess. I don't know, maybe what you experience in intimate moments can be, you can bring a little bit of that knowledge into your everyday non-sexual life, into that world.
That's something.
I know it's not as exciting that you're close. Probably.
Sometimes that's what I'm trying to do. I'm saying myself, I can fuck this world, but not in the violence way, you know, like in the meaning of bringing pleasure to this world. By bringing my skills to this world, I can bring it pleasure.
Yeah. Sorry, I saw you saying that. I should try it. Yeah, you should travel more. You should definitely travel more and spread the wisdom and pleasure.
Spread the pleasure.
Yeah, it's like I guess sexual intimacy is a language that is constantly evolving, and it's always different, even with the same person. So to me, it's sometimes a little bit more complicated, unfortunately. It used to be more intuitive and explorative, but I guess the trauma fucks you up a little bit. So now my everyday non-sexual life it became quite easy. I feel very comfortable in my emotions and who I am. And then the moment I'm naked in front of someone, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I mean, it's not like I've never had sex in my life, but it feels a little bit like that. And instead of embracing that novelty and excitement, I just get super scared. Because I think over the years, I attached a different meaning to that novelty. It became scary. Or maybe that novelty and that it's been manipulated in my life.
By other people.
So I guess it's nice to hear other people's stories about pleasure and what perception they have of it, how they develop themselves, like their perception of sexuality, and it's really inspiring and even healing to see that there is safety within that world, you know. But it is also so foreign to me at the moment to feel safe in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting conversation, you know. It's almost like it's like I can experience a little bit of that. So maybe your idea of spreading the pleasure and all of that into your everyday life is kind of working in a very strange way. But
it's interesting how you know we can feel safe at something that absolutely doesn't safe for another person.
yeah.
And they feel safe in the places we feel scary and anxious.
Yeah, it's really personal, right? I don't know. I always had a weird relationship with sexuality, I think. It's just I am way more aware about my difficulties now, whilst before, years ago, as a teenager, in my early 20s, it was more about just fucking everything and everyone, not thinking too much. But now that I have more information about the world and myself and why I feel the way I feel, I'm like, I cannot just ignore this darkness anymore. I gotta do something with it and channel it somehow, or heal, do whatever, not just, you know.
What do you mean by darkness?
Something that I don't know what it is, something that scares me because it's unknown, but also because it's been filled with bad experiences of violation of that intimacy to different degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all been put in a really dark place, and it just stays there, and it's just like a dark corner in your room, and you keep walking around and ignoring it, but it's there, and, or something like that. I don't know how to describe it, but that's.
You know, for me, this exploration is like I'm trying to get lost to find the new things.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's come to intimacy, sexual intimacy between people, we can touch in the way we used to touch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like out of habit, you mean?
Yes, like there is some kind of patterns of what you what you do first. Yeah, I don't know what parts of the body you touch, the way your hands moving from one part to another, the pressure, the intensity of touch. It sometimes it can be I can do it like I did it before, but also I want to be with another person, not with some image of sexual interaction I used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call to get lost. I want not to know where I am now.
Yeah.
That's the place where I can really see, really know, really knew another person.
Mm-hmm.
I can lead, or I can be, or I can follow,
Mm-hmm.
but I will never lead you somewhere you don't want to go. At least I'm trying not to.
Sure.
And I can follow, but I'm not gonna follow somewhere I don't want to go. Or at least I want to think that it's...
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I understand that, which also makes me think that, like, the fear that I have around sexual intimacy comes from that inability, or sometimes the inability of deciding not to follow someone somewhere I don't want to be, because sometimes someone will lead me and I will go, and I only later realize that I didn't want to go, because I think there's like traumatic elements linked to that, and there's a lot of rewiring to do to feel safe again. But yeah, and because of trauma, I think I also have the fear of leading sometimes, because then I'm like, what if the person doesn't really want to come with me to that dark place I want to, or beautiful place I want to, dark and beautiful place I want to lead them to. But and then that would be devastating to me, to break someone's boundary, which is always a risk in sexuality. But if we stay open and communicate and take our time, it's never that bad. But yeah, it's an interesting way of putting that into words. Makes sense now, doesn't it? I wish we had this conversation beforehand. Ow.
Yes.
I mean, no, I don't. This is fine.
I'm thinking about what you said about the risk of broken
Breaking a boundary.
of risk of breaking a boundary of another person, and it can happen also in other kind of connection, not sexual, not the sexual way, but in sex we are very exposed, and our feelings very exposed, and we are very sensitive.
Yeah.
Like in the most sensitive way. So it's very easy to hurt somebody. And I remember this fear of hurting somebody. I think it's come from also some kind of childhood traumas. And I remember this revelation when the first time the other person asked me to hurt him.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then I realized I can do it, like it can came not from the anger, not from the violence, but from the kind of love.
Yeah, love and excitement.
Love and excitement, yeah. And when I caused pain consensually, Sometimes I wonder who is really in control in this position.
Haha.
Because it looks like I'm controlling the situation, but in a way, I'm just following. I can't do something more than the other person ready.
Yeah.
So I have to follow the response that I see, that I feel, that I hear.
Yeah, it's true.
Otherwise, it's not working. So in a way, the person who trusts me and he's also in control in a way.
I think we have the tendency to pigeonhole everything and to dissect and to put everything in like sections, and so it has structure, so we have the illusion of control. Even in sexuality, if you observe an adult film, it's very often making out, go down on you, go down on me, fuck, male orgasm. Passive aggressive here, I'm sorry. It's true. While to me, sexuality is just a mess, a beautiful mess, where a little bit of this happens and a little bit of that, and everything is connected through, I don't know, connected by desire to be there together ultimately. It doesn't matter what we do, it's just things are just kind of happening. To me, it's also the idea of queer sex, you know, it doesn't have to be this specific fucking thing. It's just like, my hand could be a penis in that moment because we both feel it that way, or both, or depending how many we are, I don't know. Let's not put limitations. So it's nice to let go of control, or of that desire to control everything and understand everything in the moment and give it a name, and yeah. So
I just remembered how I think one of the most excited sexual moments in my life was when me and my partner just looked one at another for, I don't know, maybe it was several minutes, maybe several hours. It was just a timeless feeling.
it's a desire, isn't it? It's
Yes.
the energy that you put into things. It doesn't have to be physical.
Yes.
A lot of
It was
is
so intense. The air between us was so electrolyzed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes not touching is
That's the
more
way.
sexual than.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot. Yeah, exactly.